Yo, what's up, guys? Nico here. Hey, I was reflecting back on my active use days, and I remembered how often I would repeat a cycle. And that cycle was usually I'd get up in the morning, kind of stretch out, and know that next thing I needed to do was get some dope. So I'd go out and I'd figure out a way to get up, $60, maybe $100, so I could go buy me a gram and a half. And my whole day was just consistent about getting my next high. I would repeat that over and over and over again in my really bad and dark days. That got me to thinking, in those days, all I was really focused on was the quote unquote success of getting high that day. It was a very short-term success because everything throughout the day focused on getting that sack and getting high. And then I'd just repeat it. There wasn't any type of long-lasting value in it. So today I wanted to talk about short-term success versus long-term longevity. Short-term success is exactly what we just described. It's short-lived. It's only for a quick moment. Because again, guys, that high, no matter how much of an amount I would use, it was only for a few hours that I would feel somewhat good. That type of feeling is short-lived, short-lasted, and then it has to be repeated very, very often. When I started my path of recovery, I started looking forward to what's called long-term longevity. What I was doing in my first few days of recovery, I knew was building up a resiliency for me so that I can continue on repeating that. And that repetition developed a long-term longevity of recovery. I'm not saying recovery is all fun and games, but it is an easier lifestyle than active addiction. I personally don't believe that anybody should have to live in those cycles of getting high, focusing on what you need to do to get high all day, and then getting high, and then repeating. It's not a way that anybody should live. And trust me, I know because I've done it. I did it for many years. I do believe that people should go ahead and live with a long-term goal in their mind. So if you haven't thought about that, then I want you just to start thinking, what are you doing today that's going to go ahead and benefit you tomorrow? And what are you going to go ahead and do tomorrow that's going to benefit the next day? When you start to create a thought process like that, you're starting to develop a long-term longevity mindset. Guys, a lot of our addictions that we have in our society right now, yes, they're physiological, and I get that. But you can get through the physiological part within a few weeks. 3-4 weeks of not using that same substance on a daily basis, you'll be able to go ahead and get through the withdrawal period of it where your physical body no longer reacts to not having that substance. The part that catches everybody in the ass and keeps everybody from continuing forward in their recovery is what's in their heads. At least that was what it was for me. My mental thoughts, my thought process would force me back into a relapse, force me back into using, because I didn't focus on the long-term successes that I was trying to accomplish. I was only focused on that immediate stress relief, that immediate high. When you constantly focus on that, guys, you're focusing on a short-term success. And again, that short-term success is short-lived. It's really not beneficial. When you start looking towards long-term goals and you start working towards those long-term goals, you actually start to see them come to fruition, and it becomes easier. Some of the long-term goals that I have is completing an education. I'm blessed enough that my employer pays for it, so I figured might as well take advantage of it because it's free. So each day that I go ahead and do my homework, I'm not getting a short-term success right there, but I am working towards a long-term longevity of having a degree under my belt now. I've never been a big fan of education, to be honest with you. Never been very scholastic. I love learning, but I know what a degree can go ahead and do, what it speaks to in the long term to the rest of this world. If I was focused on short-term success, I would want this grade now, and I want to get my degree now, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to get that degree now. And usually those are some negative things: plagiarism, falsifying work, stuff like that. Short-term success is short-lived, guys. Long-term longevity allows you to reap the benefits over and over and over again. And that's what recovery is. Recovery is a long-term longevity because you're reaping the benefits of staying clean from last week, this week. Guys, I would have never found any of this out unless I had started applying it. So again, I'm not here to do recovery for you. I really don't want to. I got my own recovery to focus on. But I am here to share some tips that hopefully will get you a lot longer and a lot further in a shorter time frame than it has taken me. Ideally, guys, you're the hero of your story. What are you going to go ahead and do? How is your story going to end? Is it going to end in failure because you're repeating these short-term successes over and over again that aren't getting you anywhere? Or is it going to go ahead and end in a long-lasting story of surviving and thriving because of what you've been through? Knowing that the work that you put in today, you're not going to reap the benefits today. You're going to reap them next week. Shit, you might even reap them 6 months from now. There's stuff that I work on today that I know I'm not going to be paid out for probably until next year. And that's if it works out in my time frame. Ideally, guys, you got to start understanding that it is tough work in recovery, but it is long-lasting work. And that long-lasting work makes it a little bit easier for me to understand that it's okay to have no halo.